Lara Croft was introduced to the world in 1996. Just 10 years after that, a lot of things in the world of gaming had changed, the biggest thing being technology. So when Crystal Dynamics took over development of these games from Core Design, they were determined to celebrate Lara's 10-year anniversary while also having her franchise embrace new technology. The end result was Lara Croft Tomb Raider Anniversary for the Nintendo Wii. Anniversary is actually a remake of the very first Tomb Raider game. Its story follows archaeologist Lara Croft as she's hired by wealthy businesswoman Natla to find an ancient artifact that Lara's father searched for but never found. Lara's quest starts in Peru, but as new information is uncovered, she'll also trek through ancient ruins of Greece and Egypt to find what she's after. While this is the story of the original game, it's retold and slightly tweaked to be a prequel of 2005's Tomb Raider Legend. So with this anniversary game, you get a good introduction to the Tomb Raider franchise as a whole, while getting another story piece of this trilogy that is Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld. While this game's visuals may not look quite as polished as the Xbox 360 version that came out shortly before this Wii version, the graphics are a very noticeable improvement over the PlayStation 1 original. The remade from the ground up graphics get away from the blurry, pixelated, pointy visuals of Lara's 90s games. If you could forgive the Wii version's kind of muddy textures and average for the time character models, what you have is a well-animated game with immersive environments, more realistic characters, and a much smoother frame rate. Sound also benefits from the 7th gen tech as all the sound effects, music, and voice acting are very clear throughout the whole game. Voice actors do a good job of bringing their characters to life, and the music has a great mix of exciting action tracks and grand epic music to make you feel a sense of wonder at the ancient sights you discover. This is the kind of stuff that could rival Indiana Jones films. Well, except for Indy's iconic theme, of course. But you do get to run away from a giant rolling ball. Naturally, as this is a remake of the first Tomb Raider game, the gameplay is a mix of climbing, platforming, puzzle solving, and combat. Now, the climbing and platforming use similar mechanics as Tomb Raider Legend, and they work pretty well. It's pretty easy to understand the mechanics of what crevices you can climb on, and how to jump from one platform or crevice to another. Already the Wii controls are very noticeably used here. While you do use the control stick to move and A to jump, there are 3 Wii motion controls that come into play here. Shaking the nunchuck from side to side makes you climb faster, and when you jump near a gold hook on the wall or ceiling, you can flip the nunchuck forward to throw your grappling hook at the gold hook, then swing or wall run across. The grappling hook in particular adds some great immersion to this game in a similar way to the grappling hook featured in Metroid Prime on the Wii. Also, to move the camera, you have to hold the C button and then use a pointer to aim the camera all around unless you're near a wall that creates a barrier for camera movement. While this is an interesting design choice for a Wii game, the camera also makes it a little awkward to get your jumps exactly right. So there were quite a few times that I was trying to jump at a diagonal angle, but I would end up jumping in the wrong direction and end up falling to my death, or sliding down a slope and having to start a platforming sequence all over again. Combat in this game is the familiar 3D run and jump around while shooting action. Usually you're fighting real-life predatory animals like tigers and alligators, which could make one feel bad. In fact, I'll be surprised if this review doesn't get angry letters from PETA. It's fiction! But sometimes you fight more fantasy creatures, which can make for some exciting and downright challenging boss fights. Combat is more where the Wii controls shine. You use the nunchuck to jump in different directions and aim your guns at the pointer. When you get comfortable enough to pull it all off correctly, you do get those satisfying slow motion shots to take down the different creatures you fight. The only issue again was the awkward camera, as it did lead to times of me jumping into a wall or getting tackled when I meant to jump out of the way. Outside of that though, combat was still a lot of fun and more proof that the Wii was at its best when it came to shooting action. Although I gotta say, after playing Tomb Raider Legend on the GameCube and the Tomb Raider reboot on Mac, I was surprised to see that there's hardly any combat against humans in this game, at least outside of QuickTime events. Yes, those are unfortunately present, but the QuickTime events are actually way more tolerable this time. Partially because there are way less of them than Legend, but also they're easier to do since they're all done with motions with the remote and nunchuck. Some were hilariously awkward motions, but some were admittedly cool, like punching a guy while making a punch motion. Also, when you're exploring dark places, the pointer is used to control your flashlight. It's kinda wonky, but still a cool addition that makes sense for this game. Of course, it wouldn't be a Tomb Raider game without puzzles that test your mind and agility at the same time, and this game has no shortage of those clever puzzles. Oftentimes the answer isn't so obvious, so you really have to thoroughly examine your surroundings to figure out what to do. Some puzzles are even done with the motion controls. Usually this involves moving something with the Wii remote like you're actually moving it, like dusting a surface looking for symbols and then getting rubbings of those symbols. Some of these puzzles were pretty cool and put you more into the game, like when I used the small shovel to uncover important symbols for another puzzle. But some of these were made in place of switches that in the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC versions were just normal pull-down switches. Because of this fact, there were times that solving some of these puzzles felt like an added chore for Wii owners. Other times they were a great way to put you in the boots of this super wealthy archaeologist. Seriously, have you seen Croft Manor? Because there's a bonus level where you can play at any time. Do all archaeologists make this kind of cash? All the puzzles are as well designed as the levels themselves. They each look authentic to their location, and they seem to be built around puzzle solving. Like you know you're going in there to solve an ancient puzzle of Greece, Peru, and Egypt. It's like Indiana Jones and the Mummy all thrown together. While not a perfect game, this is still a great adventure game to have on Wii. I remember not so long ago that used copies were hard to find for anything less than $120.
What the fuck?
I know. But nowadays that trend seems to have finally ended, and you can now find used copies of this Wii game for as low as $5 or as high as $35. At that price range, it's a game worth looking for if you're a Wii owner looking for an adventure game that mixes the spirit of the 90s with the technology of the mid-2000s. Well, that's my review of Lara Croft Tomb Raider Anniversary for the Wii. To help me produce more videos like this, please support my Patreon page. Special thanks to my current patrons here. Remember that supporting my Patreon gets your name in the credits and access to my flagship videos a full day early. Also be sure to check out my previous reviews of Tomb Raider Legends for the GameCube and Red Steel 2 for the Wii. See you all next time!